All right, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody watching in the stands. We are back for an exciting event for a great cause here tonight. This is the John Paul Jr. Huntington Disease Charity Event, race number 1, raising money for the John Paul Jr. Huntington Disease Foundation. You can find the links to their current GoFundMe campaign both in the Twitch and in the Facebook stream. So if you can, please donate, please help out. We'll be talking a little bit more about the disease and about John Paul Jr. himself here in a little bit, and we might drop some tidbits throughout the race, who knows. Tonight's going to be a very special event because not only do we have everybody racing for a great cause here tonight and contributing a little bit of money to do so, but in addition to that, the Facebook page and the builder, Crazy Vet Fam. You see his logo down in the corner. You'll find his link on our Facebook page a lot. He actually is working with us and providing button boxes for the winner and for the top donation coming into the race. And then after the race, the top donation resets, and next week it'll be the same thing. We're doing this 3 weeks in a row, trying to raise as much money for this great charity as is possible. So huge shout out to them for working with us. They got some button boxes and t-shirts that are going to be coming to some of the drivers, so that's going to be a huge deal. And thanks to that, we've seen some huge donations today, and extremely proud of what has been accomplished so far. And I see William Bruce Mann Jr. already has a cheering section in the house. Not used to seeing seeing William have a cheering section when we're broadcasting during the ARCA races, but glad to see he's got one out there now, and it's awesome to see he's got some supporters here tonight. He is currently 7th fast on the track, and since he's got so many fans, we'll take a close look at his new paint scheme here tonight. And there he is as he comes down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Now we are at Pocono, the tricky triangle. And sorry, I was trying to read the side of his car. It is the tricky triangle. So it is going to be an exciting race. 3 turns around this track. And there you have it. 3 turns around this track, and each turn a different amount of banking. So that does make things a bit interesting because you have to set up, drive through the turns, and do everything different every single lap. 2.5 mile track. Current track temperature is 111 degrees. That'll make the cars slip and slide a little bit. 14 degrees turn 1, 8 degrees of banking in turn 2, 6 degrees of banking in turn 3, and 4 degrees of banking on the straightaways. So you see the drivers have to set up and adjust for every single corner in a different manner, and things will get a little bit sketchy. One thing we'll be watching closely is turn 1. That is the high speed, fast first turn, and on the first lap, I can promise you chaos can happen. Once they spread out, it's not as bad, but turn 1 is usually where you see the most incidents at. Now, before I start talking about Huntington's disease, I do have to bring somebody in here to talk with us. Hey, Matt, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up, Doug?
Hey, buddy. Hey, first off, how do you like Pocono?
Pocono is awesome. It's one of my favorite tracks.
Okay, we're not talking to you anymore. It is an awful track. That's just my opinion.
Although I've never done 100 laps at a time here, so my ass is going to be sore.
Well, good luck with that. And I know the charity we're talking about tonight, the Huntington's disease, is something that's important to you, and you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So, yeah, just this event's awesome. Thanks for Gerald and you for organizing it and putting it on. Huntington's disease is not something that a lot of people are aware about. It's a crazy disease that it's kind of like a combination of Parkinson's, ALS, and Alzheimer's all wrapped up in one because it's so crazy like that. It's misdiagnosed often. I myself come from a family who's been affected by HD, so I am at risk. Um, it's a disease where the parent, if they have the gene, can pass it down, and the kids have a 50-50 chance of inheriting the disease. So um, it's pretty crazy, but that's what this event's all about, is just raising some awareness and hopefully raising a little bit of money to help awareness and research of it. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck tonight. I know it's a little bit longer than what you're used to, but hopefully you're there at the end and maybe even pull off the win here tonight.
Yeah, hoping if it's not me, one of the other Outlaw boys. So we got Jim Johnson, Brian, Mike, and DJ in here. So between the 5 of us, hopefully, or 6 of us, I guess, hopefully we could get it done.
Well, you got Drew Warren cheering on the whole crew, so good luck, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
All right. That was Matt Stewart talking about it. And as he mentioned, it is a genetic disorder. It does pass down through the generations. And that is why getting a cure is so important. Doing this research, getting awareness out there so that they can help. It affects over 200,000 people every year. It's not the most common disease out there, but it is a genetic brain disease, so you can understand how severe that is. You progressively lose all of your physical, mental, and emotional abilities. And as as Matt said, it comes out in so many different ways. It's so hard to diagnose. It's so hard to treat. And once it's diagnosed that it is full blown, you are likely to suffer with it the rest of your life. So it is truly devastating. Speaking of somebody who did, John Paul Jr. had to retire from racing in 2001 because of Huntington's disease, because of the effect it was having on him. I read one interview where he said the readout on the car was different than what he thought his feet were doing. That's just how much of an impact it has on your body. But he spent the last 17 years of his life, he dedicated all of his time and energy to helping with this, and this charity was brought up to help bring more awareness, raise more money for it. And unfortunately, he's not on track, but the man who really is to thank for tonight is going to be Gerald Thanos Poole. We'll try and get a closer look at that blue race car up there. Let's see if we can get a look at it from pit lane. Trying to find a good camera that will show me his car. There is the overhead. There you see he has the charity logo on the hood. You can see more about it at the website www.johnpauljrhd.com. So make sure you go and check that out. Huge shout out to Gerald Thanos Poole for making all this happen, helping with all the prizes for tonight. Really have a lot to thank him for. And huge shout out to Crazy Vet Fam, who I know has been working his tail end off getting everything done for us. So I know he's in the chat. Huge shout out to him. And if you're into sim racing, or you know what, even if you're not, go check out his stuff. He is a fully disabled vet and does a lot for the iRacing community. We want to help grow his business and help him out a little bit. So go check him out on Facebook. You can find all those links on our Facebook page. And definitely a good guy and hilarious when you get to talking to him. He's extremely funny. I've had a great time talking to him the last couple of weeks. All right, a minute left in practice. They will have 10 minutes to qualify so that Gerald and crew can do a quick driver's meeting. They'll get 2 laps to qualify. Once that is complete, then the green flag drops. It's 100 laps. They have no tire limit, no fuel limit, 1 fast repair limit though. And on this 2.5 mile oval, it could come down over 100 laps. It could come down to a battle of attrition, as these cars, they definitely struggle in certain parts of this track. You're going to see cars getting, even with the high downforce setup, you're going to see cars getting loose early. You're going to see them start pushing in the middle of a run, and then late in the run, as the tires really wear off, the back end's going to try and come around again on them. The trickiest part of this track will be if they try and come through this next turn, turn number 2. As Michael Whiting goes through there, you can see, it seems wider than it really is. It looks wider than it really is. It looks like it's 5 lanes wide, but I promise you, once you're in the race car, it's not 5 lanes wide. And when you go through there too wide, it is exciting would be the word I would use there. It is definitely, you have a few moments there and things get dicey. All right, while they're qualifying, you have just enough time to go hit the snag bar. We'll watch some of these drivers qualify and maybe even take an in-car lap with a few of these drivers. But while you're out standing in line at the snack bar, please hit the share button. Let's bring as much awareness to this as we possibly can. Remember, there are 2 more races coming up the next 2 Thursdays, and we will have the same prizes on the line for both of those races. And it looks like Brian Mansfield has a little problem even getting up to speed. I mentioned these cars are loose on cold tires. I should note this is the legacy version of Pocono. This is the older version before repaving and restructuring. So it is bumpy out there. And that does make things extraordinarily tricky for all the drivers. Especially if they're running, and we'll see them running 5 wide into turn 1 on the second lap. As they come out of turn 3, they'll start spreading out, and I imagine things will get dicey. It might not be the regular diciness you see here, just because this is such a long race, but it's still going to get a bit sketchy out there. Michael Whiting coming around the track as William Mann Jr. starts his qualifying run. Gerald Thanos Poole, DJ Kenner out there. Kevin Bruner on the track. Jeremy Leto. Matt Stewart, we talked to him a few moments ago. As we mentioned, Brian Mansfield, a little bit of problem getting started. Brian Burkhart in the field. Glad to see Burkhart out on track as well. Should see Bradley Berry, Brandon Mclaughlin, and Jim Johnson hitting the track in the next few minutes. Michael Graynolds is out there too, but if I had to guess, it's Pocono. It's a lot of drafting, and I'm gonna just a hunch that Graynolds may not qualify. And as soon as I said that, he got out there on pit road. So he might actually qualify. Graynolds is one of those guys that likes to start at the back of the field and work his way forward throughout the race. So far today, we have raised over $500. Thank you for mentioning that, Crazy Vet Fam. Appreciate it, buddy. We have raised over $500 in one day, so we want to keep that going. Our original goal was $2,000 to $2,500 over the course of this 3 weeks. So definitely want to see if we can make that happen here tonight. If we can get even half of that, it would be amazing. I think the actual total was over 500. I think the total on the John Paul Jr. Huntington Disease Foundation's GoFundMe as of start of race was $695. So every dollar, every penny will help. Brian Mansfield completing his first lap. Matt Stewart, so far the fastest out there. Good race to see Matt out in front. DJ Kenner currently second fastest, the Iceman. Michael Whiting third fastest. Kevin Bruner currently fourth fastest. And if you've watched broadcasts here, you recognize a lot of these names. You've got guys from every single league we broadcast here. You've got guys from Outlaws. You got guys from Fast and Fun. You've got guys from XCal, BRR, the whole shebang. And G2, G2 obviously the league sponsor for tonight as Jeremy Leto pulls in. And he is running his Sim Racer coin paint scheme here tonight. Bradley Berry getting out on track to do his qualifying. Brandon Mclaughlin running an old Dale Jarrett paint scheme out there. Jim Johnson out on track as well. Brian Burkhart finally rolling off to qualify in his Navy car. Looks like just about everybody has taken to the track. Daniel Miller still sitting at the end of pit road. He has not gone out to qualify yet. And he is driving the American flag paint scheme. As they wrap up qualifying, and we'll hop into a driver's meeting here. They will hop into the driver's meeting rather here in just a moment. As we mentioned, take a moment, please hit that share button and show these guys you are supporting them by sharing it. Get more people watching, we'll get more donations, and it'll really help out everybody. Matt Stewart, still the fastest qualifier. And I have to tell you, this track, because of the just the layout and the way the track drives, everybody has a differing opinion on it. Some guys absolutely love it. Some guys absolutely hate it. Some guys just kind of depends on the day. I know William Mann Jr. said, hey, you know what? I love to hate it, and I hate to love it sometimes, but that's just the way it is. Several of these guys saying this is their favorite track, and that generally is the way it goes. I'm in the camp of people that really don't like this track. Daniel Miller finally rolling off to get his qualifying laps in here as well. It will be at the wheel a lot longer than some of these guys are used to. That will come into play here. Should see roughly 2 pit stops before the night is out, and pit stops will definitely throw things up. Obviously, if there's a caution, everybody's going to come to pit road, top off on fuel. Track position is huge here, but you do not want to be out there on the oldest set of tires, even if it's just a couple of laps old. And William Mann saying not his favorite track, but the draft helps, and Crazy Vet Fam saying not his favorite either. I can tell you Matt Stewart's probably loving it right about now. All right, qualifying just about over. They've got about a minute and a half left. Everybody is running to stretch their legs, hit the snack bar, get one last cold drink, and get ready to go here tonight. And remember, this is a great cause. Make sure you go check out the Facebook page for the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease Foundation. Great group of people to work with as well, and they definitely want to do something to help end this disease, and I can tell you that they are very committed to that. So awesome of them to be putting in that effort and continuing on his legacy. Looks like everybody did get a qualifying run in. Matt Stewart still holds the fastest lap and should be starting on the pole here in just a moment. All right, make sure you chime in. Let us know if you're watching. Chime in. Let us know who you're cheering for, where you're cheering from, and you know what? Let us know if you know somebody with Huntington's disease. All right, the field is gridding. Up front will be Matt Stewart, DJ Kenner, followed by Michael Whiting and Brian Burkhart, Kevin Bruner, and Jim Johnson. Gerald Thanos Poole, Brandon McLaughlin, then William Mann and Brian Mansfield rounding out the top 10. Daniel Miller, Michael Graynolds, 11th and 12th. 13th is Jeremy Leto. Bradley Berry is 14th. All right, everybody rolling off, just following up on a message from one of the drivers. Hopefully he got that in time. Limited number of hands. All right, here they go. They'll do one lap of warm-up. You'll probably see a couple of guys weaving. I know there's some guys out there riding the brakes, warming those tires up just enough to put some grip into them. Brakes will be an issue here. They will have to use them going into turn 3 and a little bit into turn number 1, depending on their driving style. Some drivers we might see do a little shift. You'll be able to tell when they do, especially if they shift early on, like going into turn 3, downshifting into third, will kick the back end around a little bit if you don't have the car settled enough. Out of turn number 2, the tunnel turn, one of the slipperiest parts of the track, and in the draft, that is going to be a huge part of the race, is guys pushing up, getting, when they don't have enough air on the nose of those cars, pushing up towards that outside wall, guys on the bottom getting a little bit loose, having air taken off the rear spoilers. Things will get dicey right through there. And then we'll see a lot of excitement right here through turn 3, but I can promise you the most excitement tonight, more than likely, will be in turn number 1. Pace car about to drop off, and we are gonna go green. Waiting on the flag man. Green flag in the air. They're down and away, and Matt Stewart leads him down and for the first lap of the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease charity event. Driving off into turn number 1, looking a little further back in the field, you see multiple lines. Looks like Jim Johnson got a little loose. Gerald Poole stuck in the middle, 3 wide off of turn number 1. This is getting a little dicey earlier than expected. Most of the time you'd want to settle in for a lap or 2 and let everybody get lined out, but some of these guys are just going for it. Matt Stewart holding on to the lead. DJ Kenner, oh, we've got a car in the wall. That was Brian Burkhart, caught a little bit of the wall. Everybody seems to get by. It looks like one car got held up behind him. Brandon McLaughlin got held up a little bit behind Brian Burkhart. They're now back up to speed, but they've lost a ton of ground early on. Plenty of time to make it up, but that one kind of hurt. McLaughlin lost 3 spots, Brian Burkhart lost 6 spots just getting into the wall off turn 2. Meanwhile, Matt Stewart out front. DJ Kenner in second. They are starting to they're staying single file, going to try and break away from the field, and Brandon McLaughlin got a little bit of the wall there off turn 1 as he comes by Burkhart. Everybody's starting to get a little bit single file throughout the field. Burkhart and McLaughlin still fighting it out, but it's Brian Mansfield making a pass here, trying to find a way around Gerald Thanos' pool. And as they come down the front straightaway, let's take a lap around inside Thanos' car as he crosses the start-finish line. There's the 39 of Jim Johnson right in front of him. Hits the 1 mark, gets out of the gas, a little dab of the brake, staying. Looks like he started turning down a little bit early, trying to get the run underneath Jim. Can't quite get there yet. Now he's got the nose on the inside as they go down the second straightaway. Down the straightaway into turn number 2. Multiple lines you can take through here, but best one is to hit that apex. Out of turn 2, short shoot into turn number 3. Out of the gas, onto the brake just a little bit, sets the nose. Still looking to the inside of Jim Johnson, can't get it to stick, drifts up a little bit, and back down that long front straightaway they go. Matt Stewart just ran the fastest lap of the race out front. Unusual to see that in the this being such a draft heavy track, and he has actually opened up a little bit of a gap on DJ Kenner. Michael Whiting and the rest of the field a little bit further back, almost 2 seconds back from the leader after just a couple of laps. Crazy Vet Fam saying brake bias is going to be tricky. It definitely is, although I have to say I know a guy who runs road races that changes his brake bias every corner. So, you know, changing it here a lot wouldn't be that big of a deal. Especially if you've got a button box from Crazy Vet Fam. Oh, we've got one spinning on the front straightaway. Caution is out. Somebody hits hard. It is Michael Grainolds. Michael just gets loose out of turn 3, hits the outside wall, gets it down to the inside, catches the tires, and it yeets him onto pit road. So he'll go down pit road, get his fast repair, get back out there. But after only a few laps, should see everybody on pit road this time. And Patty Raymond Stewart cheering on Matt Stewart, who so far has been untouchable as he is trying to get back up to the pace car. Michael Grainolds rolling off pit road after getting his repairs. His car is back and good. He's going to get waved around the pace car back to the lead lap. Matt Stewart been the dominant car so far tonight. Really kind of impressed that you know, after 5 laps to see somebody already gapping the field, especially gapping a driver like DJ Kenner, that's a truly impressive race. Michael Whiting still in 3rd. William Mann Jr. up to 4th now. He is shot through the field for a guy who says he loves to hate this track. He is loving it so far tonight. Kevin Bruner up to 5th now. Jim Johnson 6th. Gerald Thanos Poole is 7th. Bradley Berry 8th. Brian Mansfield 9th. And Brian Burkhart in 10th. Then it's Daniel Miller, Jeremy Leno, Brandon Mclaughlin, and Michael Grainolds rounding out the field. Next week we will have another one of these races. Same time Thursday night. So if you didn't get into this one, that one is still available. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of the same names, probably some more. And yes, the winner of next week's race also gets a button box. So, you know, you can't lose hopping in here, donate a few bucks. And DJ Kenner staying out. Everybody else comes to pit road. DJ, the Iceman Kenner. I mean, I know he's good at saving tires, but come on. I have never seen... Michael Grainolds probably is going to stay out here unless he only took a repair to catch up to the field, but I'm guessing he took 4 tires and fuel. Yes, he did. So he stays out, and that's actually going to put him up to second place, it looks like, as Reynolds. Yep, he just cleared the end of pit road, so nobody makes it off. So now the race is to see who comes off of pit road first. Here they come. Matt Stewart looks like he got it by a nose. Michael Whiting might have got it at the scoring cone. We'll have to wait and see what the official scoring says. It was extremely close. Their pit stops were exactly 1/100. Make sure I'm reading that right. Yeah, 1/100th of a second difference between Michael Whiting and Matt Stewart's pit stops. DJ Kenner in the lead, trying to keep those tires warm. I'm wondering about this strategy. You know, it's risky. On the restart, you always have the risk into turn 1. We saw a couple of guys bobble earlier, but old tires, he might get chewed up very quickly here. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out, and if it stays green, the fuel strategy will come into play as well. Interesting side note to all of this, Jeremy Leto started in 13th, is now in 5th. It looks like he took right side tires only, whereas everybody else took 4 tires. So Jeremy Leto picks up 8 spots on pit road. Great strategy move there early in the race, because if it doesn't work out this early in the race, hey, you got a lot of time to make up ground. Brandon Mclaughlin and Brian Burkhart still catching up to the field, both having long pit stops. I'm guessing they got caught speeding on pit road. Looks like Matt Stewart was the first one off pit road, so he is going to start on the high side with DJ Kenner leading him down on the inside. Michael Whiting in 3rd. William Mann in 4th. Jeremy Leto is 5th. Kevin Bruner 6th. Jim Johnson 7th. Gerald Thanospool 8th. Bradley Berry 9th. Brian Mansfield 10th, then Daniel Miller, Brian Burkhart, Michael Reynolds, and Brandon Mclaughlin rounding out the field. Pace car will drop off when they come out of turn number 3. Looks like Brian Burkhart is having some problems. Not sure what is going on with him. He has definitely got an issue. He is pulling off track. Looks like it might be a wheel and pedal issue. Hopefully that gets addressed. He catches back up to the field. He's starting to get back up to speed. No. And he is pulling off the track out of turn number 2. Pace car about to drop in. They will get the green flag from Barney the Flagman. Green flag in the air, and they are down and away to begin lap number 9. Looks like Brian Burkhart did get back on track. He is right there back a shot coming out of turn 3. Matt Stewart drifts up a little bit, but him and William Mann go flying by DJ Kenner. Those old tires, definitely, even only 5 laps, it's a 2.5 mile track with flat banking. It tears those tires up quickly, and obviously that is going to affect DJ Kenner pretty badly here early. Here comes Jeremy Leto. Only 2 tires. Leto in the wall. Michael Whiting manages to avoid low, gets a little bit loose. Now it's Michael Whiting on the bottom up to 4th place. Up front, William Mann and Matt Stewart, though, already opening up a lead yet again. DJ Kenner in 3rd, holding him off. Leto making a move on the bottom. couldn't make the outside work, hopped down to the bottom, and I'm surprised we're only seeing 2 wide on the front straightaway this early in the run. Usually they're going to be spread out 3, 4, and 5 wide. I'd imagine if we get a late race caution, you're going to see a lot of that. 3-car battle going on right here. Michael Whiting in 4th, Bradley Berry in 5th, Kevin Bruner in 6th. Jim Johnson still right there within striking distance. Gerald Poole in 8th place, just a little bit back from this battle. And he's got Brian Mansfield with him, Jeremy Leto right behind him. As they come down through turn number 3. Little bit of a wiggle out of Bradley Berry off turn 3. Manages to keep the car going the right way, though. Tires should be coming up to temperature right about now. And William Mann takes the lead on the front straightaway and runs the fastest lap of the race so far, using the draft from Matt Stewart to get that position. DJ Kenner, currently in 3rd, has managed to use the draft to get back up to these two, and now they have over 1 second on Michael Whiting and crew as these guys go into turn number 2 through the tunnel turn side by side. Through turn 3, this battle continues to go on. Michael Whiting in the 44. Bradley Berry has cleared this group in 4th. Bradley started in 14th and already up to 4th. He is definitely the man on the move here tonight. Jim Johnson dropping in, saying hello. Hey, buddy. Wait a minute. You're in the car, Jim. You're right there. Don't text and drive, buddy. Jim Johnson currently running in 6th place, texting while driving. Watch out if anything goes crazy out there. 2 cars are definitely faster than 1, and as Crazy Vet Fam said, and it's definitely working out really well here with Matt Stewart and William Mann Jr. as they continue to open up a little bit of a gap. Bradley Berry, though, seems to be reeling in DJ Kenner. I think DJ might be losing a little bit of ground here. He loses a little bit in every turn as Matt Stewart makes a move to the inside. Matt Stewart down on the bottom into turn 1, takes the lead, drifts up a little bit, loses the back end. Now William Mann looking to the inside. Off of turn 1, and how's it going to come out? DJ Kenner managed to pull right back up there with him. William Mann stuck on the bottom. Through turn 2, William Mann has the advantage. Matt Stewart manages to sort back in. DJ Kenner right there with him. Now DJ's got a little help from Bradley Berry, who's closed the gap up. Michael Whiting currently in 5th. Love seeing this 2 wide up in front of him, giving him an opportunity to pull back up to the group as they are not as fast side by side as they are nose to tail. Another battle going on back here, 7th and 8th. That is Gerald Poole on the bottom. Kevin Bruner up high. And Bruner almost gets in the wall there, but he is sending it and managed to pull just ahead of Gerald Poole that time. Back up front, it is still William Mann Jr. in the lead. Matt Stewart right there with him. I have a feeling we're going to be watching these two battle it out the whole race. If we get another caution, DJ has a chance to get to pit road. We will see if he can keep up with these guys once he is on fresh tires. He's doing a great job on old tires, but Bradley Berry all over DJ's back bumper right now. Hey, man, have a good night, Crazy Vet Fam. Thank you again, buddy. And Kara cheering on William Mann as Matt Stewart looks to the inside. And now the entire front pack, William Mann and Matt Stewart, had started to open up a bit of a gap, but everybody has pulled right back up to him. DJ Kenner losing ground on those older tires. 6-lap older tires DJ has than everybody else, and it's starting to show as everybody comes by. Bradley Berry gets by clean. Michael Whiting now to the inside. Michael Whiting hops back up high, going to use the draft and try and make a move down into turn 1, I would imagine. No move yet, but Jim Johnson looks a bit hungry back there. He's starting to look around for a way by these cars. William Mann still out front. Matt Stewart second. Bradley Berry in third. DJ Kenner fourth. Michael Whiting is in fifth. And oh my goodness, what a moment there. Everybody holds their breath, starts spread out, but everybody gets by cleanly. DJ Kenner loses a ton of spots. Michael Whiting finally clears him for fourth and brings Jim Johnson with him. Those old tires really starting to hurt DJ as he drops back to ninth. And he's going to lose ninth to Brian Mansfield here in a moment as Mansfield looks to the inside. Meanwhile, the three front cars still nose to tail all the way around the track. William Mann Jr. out front, Matt Stewart in second, Bradley Berry in third. The gap from Bradley Berry back to fourth place Michael Whiting is now 1.1 second. However, if these three start battling again, you never know what could happen here. As the two cars there at the front had pulled away earlier, had over a 1 second gap, but as soon as they started swapping positions and battling, that's when things got interesting and half the field caught up to him. Meanwhile, checking on DJ Kenner again, right in, he is tucked into the draft on Brian Mansfield. They're losing a little bit of time on the field. Further back, Daniel Miller currently running in 10th, Michael Grainold's 11th, Jeremy Leto is 12th, Brandon Mclaughlin 13th, Brian Burkhart currently in 14th after that earlier incident. And meanwhile, coming down towards turn number 2, Matt Stewart shoots to the inside of William Mann for the lead here. William almost getting the wall there. He was pushing, trying to hold on to that top spot, just couldn't do it. Matt Stewart had the run, and off into turn 3 they go with Matt Stewart now back to the lead. Bradley Berry right on the back bumper there as well. And throughout that little battle, they still gained just a little bit of ground on fourth place, who is now Jim Johnson. He's gotten past Michael Whiting. Keep in mind, they are doing these laps at 56 seconds to over 2.5 miles. Down the front straightaway, they are going over 200 miles an hour on fresh tires. Off of turn number 2, guys are starting to get squirrely. They have been out there now for about 12 laps. The air temperature and track temperature are very hot right now. Let's take a quick look. Track temperature has dropped a little bit since practice. It's now 103 degrees. Air temperature still 78. And that does make things a little bit slippery out there. William Mann now dropping back to third as Bradley Berry has made the biggest charge so far tonight. Started in 14th. He is already up to second and now hunting down Matt Stewart. In the top three, Jim Johnson is actually gaining on this top three while they're still nose to tail. Got a little bit of help from Michael Whiting back behind. Out of turn number 3, let's check the distance at the line. It looks like less than 9/10 of a second is the gap from third place William Mann back to Jim Johnson in fourth place. Matt Stewart still holding on to the lead though. Bradley Berry not pushing the issue just yet. Bradley Berry got really high off into turn number 1. Running a very high line there. William Mann starts looking to the inside. Doesn't do anything with it yet. Drops back in line. But that was exactly what Jim Johnson needed to catch back up into the group. And now what it's started to spread out. Oh, we've got William Mann bumps the wall out of turn number 2. Keeps the car going the right way, but loses a lot of ground. Jim Johnson now to the outside. Michael Whiting coming on the outside. Almost 3 wide off of turn number 3 as they try and settle after the wall touch there by William Mann. William Mann managing to slide back in behind Michael Whiting. Now Michael Whiting looks to the inside of Jim Johnson. Can't do anything yet. And while all this is going on, Matt Stewart is absolutely loving it. He has now got a 3/4 of a second lead over Bradley Berry. And Bradley Berry has 1.5 seconds over Jim Johnson and Michael Whiting. Michael Whiting now to the inside looking for third. Michael Whiting gets past Jim Johnson. A lot of sliding around back behind him. William Mann now back in position. Looked like he was going to make a move on Bruner, but here comes Gerald Poole looking to the inside. Can't do anything with him yet. A little bit of damage to Williams' car, but doesn't appear to be significant. He is still up to speed. Matt Stewart continuing to lead, but Bradley Berry has closed his gap down just a little bit, now right at 1/2 second. Michael Whiting in third has broke away from Kevin Bruner and crew and trying to run the lead 2 down. Kevin Bruner currently in fourth, Jim Johnson fifth. William Mann now in sixth, Gerald Poole in seventh, starting to gain on this group just a little bit. Brian Mansfield, DJ Kenner working together. DJ on those older tires, just trying to stay with somebody to have a little bit of draft help. They are 8th and 9th. Daniel Miller back in 10th. Leto in 11th place. Has a battle going on back here, as Brian Burkhart, Jeremy Leto, Michael Grainels, and Brandon McLaughlin have all got together. If they get single file, they could probably run down the front group at this point. Burkhart breaks away. He is in the lead of that group for the moment. Leto down on the bottom. Off into turn 1. This could get a little bit tricky. There are some bumps right there where he entered turn 1 at. Had to get out of the gas a little bit. Lost some momentum. Burkhart starting to break away. Grainolds and Brandon McLaughlin back there. Jeremy Leto still in the draft though. Still with them. Meanwhile, up front, Matt Stewart continuing to lead, still has a 0.4 of a second lead over Bradley Berry. Michael Whiting still trying to run him down, has now closed the gap to Bradley Berry to 1.1 seconds. Back behind in fourth, Kevin Bruner, Jim Johnson, and William Mann all sticking together, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That group 3.2 seconds back from the leader. DJ Kenner getting around Brian Mansfield for 8th place. Brian back to 9th now. Bit of a surprise there as DJ is on older tires. Daniel Miller in 10th, kind of out there all by himself, just running his own race at the moment, waiting for something to happen and fall his way here. I have a feeling pit strategy tonight will be huge. Burkhart in 11th. 12th place is Brandon McLaughlin. Michael Graynolds 13th. Jeremy Leto in 14th. Matt Stewart has opened up some more of his lead as Bradley Berry lost a lot of ground on that last couple of laps. Now in the clutches of Michael Whiting in 3rd. Michael Whiting looking to the inside. I'm wondering if Bradley Berry used his tires up too soon or if this other group just took it easy early on. As here comes Michael Whiting to 2nd. And he now has his sights set on Matt Stewart, 2.1 seconds ahead. Bradley Berry holds on to 3rd. Kevin Bruner in 4th. Jim Johnson currently in 5th. William Mann losing a little bit of ground now in 6th place. Gerald Poole 7th. 8th is DJ Kenner. Brian Mansfield 9th. Daniel Miller is 10th. Brian Burkhart in 11th. Brandon McLaughlin 12th. Michael Graynolds 13th. And Jeremy Leto in 14th.
How's the race going, Doug?
Hey, Matt. Are you so bored that you had time to come talk to us?
I figured you needed something to talk about, and I had some extra time on these straightaways, so.
Well, you're pulling away again.
Yeah, she's real tight. I want some tires. I think Michael's going to catch me here in a few laps.
Well, he is gaining on you, but it's fairly slow. A couple tenths of a second a lap, and you had a 2.5 second lead there for a bit.
Yeah, Michael's a machine.
Well, so what is your pit strategy here? How many laps do you think you're going to try and push those tires?
Well, we're going to make it to this first stage break, and then, I don't know, gas might be 30 laps or so. I'm going to try and push it as far as possible.
Well, it'll definitely work. 5 more laps, I believe, until your stage break. So, definitely can hold on the lead that long.
Yeah, we'll see. I got to get out of here before Michael catches me. I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Good luck, man. Matt Stewart dropping in to say hello while he's in the race car. That has got to be one of the most awesome things we've ever heard here. All right, so you heard him say it. Michael Whiting has ran him down. And Michael Whiting apparently realized Matt Stewart was on the radio and, not to be outdone, decided he was going to crank it up a few notches. So here comes Michael Whiting. Now, we do have a stage break at lap 33, so they're going to get tires and fuel there. They know they can go about 30 laps on fuel. So they'll have to make at least one more, possibly 2 more. Michael Whiting goes into the turn 1 way too high and lost some ground there. Back behind him, Jim Johnson in 3rd, Kevin Bruner 4th, Bradley Berry is in 5th, William Mann Jr. 6th, Gerald Poole in 7th, but DJ Kenner's done something to those tires. He has started coming on strong. Him and Gerald Poole now connected. They've got William Mann with them. Knowing that there's a stage break coming, they are going to go for everything they can, and DJ Kenner, oldest tires on the track, making moves. DJ, the only one that did not pit on lap 6, and look at him, he lost a lot of ground, but starting to make it up late in the run. William Mann still leading that group around in about 3 laps. He's going to get tires, fuel, and then the strategy really coming into play. You heard Matt Stewart say about 30 or so laps on a tank of fuel. The caution comes out at the start of lap 33. That means that they will have ran 27 laps on this run because of the caution. Matt Stewart said he knew he could do 30 on a tank, so figure everybody can do roughly 30. A few guys will be able to do a few more. They'll restart about lap 36. It's going to be very, very close. Everybody's going to have to either make an extra pit stop just for fuel, pit for fuel and tires, or just do a splash and go. They'll have to stop at the stage break. They'll have to stop again around lap 66, and that'll put them about 4 laps short. And of course, once they get green again, caution could change everything, as Matt Stewart just still holding on to the lead. Michael Whiting in second, about a quarter second back from him though. Is Michael Whiting going to take the lead here at the stage? Jim Johnson, Kevin Bruner coming to the stage. They are both battling it out side by side. Matt Stewart up high trying to carry some momentum, but Michael Whiting obviously still has some grip down there on the bottom. Next time they cross the start-finish line, the yellow will come out, so Matt Stewart wants to hold him off as long as possible. Brian Mansfield going to pit road. Oh, wise strategy move. Brian Mansfield going to pit road 1 lap before the caution, before the stage break comes out. So he will come out, be on the lead lap, 4 fresh tires and fuel, and be at the front of the field. Brian Mansfield might have just snookered everybody. Michael Whiting looking to the inside in turn 3. He's going to take the lead, try and take the lead. Coming to the stage break, he has got Matt Stewart clear. Matt trying to fight back on the outside. Brian Mansfield did get back off of pit road. Jeremy Leto actually hit pit road too. And we should see the caution here any moment. As William Mann and Gerald Poole battling side by side. I think they're throwing the caution at the end of 33. As they come back out of turn number 3, and Michael Whiting continues to lead, waiting for that caution flag. And this might have hurt Brian Mansfield just a little bit, having to do that lap under green. We'll have to wait and see. Should be seeing the caution any moment. Matt Stewart staying right there with Michael Whiting. Kevin Bruner and Jim Johnson together. DJ Kenner with Bradley Berry. William Mann Jr. still there with Gerald Thanos Poole. Brian Burkhart now up to 9th, gaining a little bit of ground. Daniel Miller 10th. There is the caution. Looks like there might have been a bit of a glitch there. Now, as they come out of turn number 3, Michael Whiting in the lead at the stage break. Matt Stewart in 2nd, Kevin Bruner in 3rd, Jim Johnson 4th, DJ Kenner 5th, Bradley Berry 6th, William Mann Jr. 7th, Gerald Poole 8th, Brian Burkhart 9th, Daniel Miller in 10th, Brandon McLaughlin, Michael Grainolds, Brian Mansfield, and Jeremy Leto rounding out the field. And Jeremy Leto has had an issue. I have no earthly idea what just happened to... Let's see if we can find out what happened. It looks like... Trying to get a look at his car as it comes off pit road. No, he was heavily damaged when he got to pit road. Not sure what happened there. We'll have to find out here in a moment. But meanwhile, we should see everybody come to pit road. And since the William Mann Jr. fan club's here, let's see if we can get a word with him. Hey, William, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, Mr. Doug, I got you, sir.
Hey, definitely a bit of an interesting first part of the race there. You getting the wall out of turn 2 definitely impacted you.
Yeah, I knew there was a stage break, so I figured I'd push the hell out of the car and try to see what Matt had up there. Try to figure out what he does to see if I can't beat him at his line. I think I got some good info. Just got to save some tires now.
All right, man. Good luck. Your fan club is in the house tonight. Say hello to him.
Hey, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping in, man. Big group of guys having some fun and raising money for a good cause. So appreciate everybody tuning in.
All right, man. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, William Mann Jr. always in a good mood when he's on the track. All right, everybody hits pit road. Brian Mansfield does go ahead and stay out. Jeremy Leto looks like he stayed out as well. He should be coming to pit road for repairs this time, though, trying to get a good look at that hood. Or what's left of the front of that car would probably be a more apt description, and trying to find out what the heck happened. I'm thinking he might have had an incident trying to get onto pit road. Let me scroll. He came off of pit road with the damage. So let's see. He was damaged when he came to pit road. Something must have happened on the previous lap that we did not catch, because that car took some heavy damage, and why he didn't repair on pit road the first time, kind of curious. But now Brian Mansfield back on pit road. He gives up his track position. I get word that no idea what happened. He was too far behind me. I'm guessing that is Daniel Miller that's saying that. All right, now Leto on pit road again. He'll get his fast repair and see if he can get back out there. He has, let's see, he is showing as being 1 lap down, so he would be the lucky dog here if he can get back out there. Actually, I think he's showing 2 laps down. Nope, 1. Actually, the first car 1 lap down. We'll let everybody get sorted here and caught back up. Yes, looks like Leto will get the wave around here. Daniel Miller on pit road, and a late pit stop slides in. I bet this is a gas and go. As they get lined up for the restart, I'm betting that Daniel Miller might be making a very smart move here, just getting that extra splash of gas. Let's see if we can watch his pit stop. The right sides do not go up, left sides do not go up. Nope, there go the right side, so he is going to get fresh tires here. So Brian Mansfield, by virtue of a little bit of pit strategy there, is in the lead. Michael Whiting in second. Matt Stewart is third. Kevin Bruner is 4th, Bradley Berry is 5th, Gerald Poole 6th, Jim Johnson now 7th, Brian Burkhart 8th, DJ Kenner in 9th, and Brendan McLaughlin in 10th. Michael Graynolds in 11th, William Mann Jr. back in 12th place, Daniel Miller 13th, Jeremy Leto in 14th. William Mann Jr. might have the best seat in the house for this restart. Said he learned a little bit during that first run. We'll see if he can apply it here. If he can, these guys might be in trouble. And you know what? I said he's going to have the best seat in the house for this restart. Let's join him. Green flag is in the air. There they go. They're down and away, and it looks like Graynolds has got some damage still on the back bumper. You can see guys have been doing a little bit of bump drafting. everybody's got a little bit of dent on the back bumper. William Mann Jr. making that draft work as he gets past Reynolds and jumps back to the bottom right on the back bumper of DJ Kenner. DJ Kenner drifting up just a little bit. You can see how rough this track is. Everybody's bumping and you are not settled at any point. And that turn number 1 and on a restart here is one scary situation. As Michael Whiting jumps to the lead, Brian Mansfield now back to second. Matt Stewart looking for the position. And here comes Jim Johnson down the inside. Whoa, Gerald Poole drifted up, had to pull down to avoid hitting Jim Johnson. Gets loose and has to back out of it. Gerald Poole loses several positions. Now has to fall in behind DJ Kenner. Up front, Kevin Bruner is looking for a position here. He's trying to find someone under Matt Stewart. Sends it into one a little bit hard, as does the 97. They almost get into the wall there. Meanwhile, Michael Whiting, you heard Matt Stewart say he is just a machine, and it is definitely showing. He is starting to open up a lead already over Brian Mansfield in second place. Third place, Matt Stewart right there with him. Bruner in fourth. Jim Johnson currently in fifth. And it looks like Gerald Poole is starting to look to regain some of those positions. He drifted back to ninth. Started looking the inside. DJ gets a little loose off turn 3. Holds on to it though. But Gerald Poole now to the outside. First few laps here coming off turn 3. Always a little bit loose going into, or after that, you really have to fight the car to make sure you don't smack into the wall because it starts tightening up. Michael Whiting still in the lead. Matt Stewart has cleared Brian Mansfield, now up to second, right on Whiting's back bumper. Out of turn number 3. Does anybody struggle this time? A couple of guys drifted it out of 3 there. That can happen. It's kind of a really fun situation to feel that little bit of a drift out of the turn, as it looks like Brian Mansfield had a little bit of a bump. Might have been with Bruner there going through turn 1, and now Mansfield crashing back behind caution. Brian Mansfield, oh, he got right in front of William Mann. He was checked up. Let's take it back just a little bit and see where this all started for Brian Mansfield. Yeah, a little bit of a bump and into one. He gets sent up into the safer barrier. And while he's trying to get back up up to speed, gets into DJ Kenner and William Mann. Caution is out. I imagine we're going to see a lot of guys hitting pit road. Now, they can stop here, and everybody can make it on one more stop after this. Even if it stays green the entire rest of the race, they can make it on one stop from here. Burkhart is on the move after the early incident. He went way back in the field. Now he is up to 5th and starting to make his way forward. Bradley Berry currently in 6th. Gerald Poole in 7th. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Gerald. Hey Thanos, this is Doug. You got me?
10-4 do.
Hey, you've had a couple of close calls, but every time you do, you just start charging back toward the front.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be conservative and think about what's going to come up here at the end of the race. a little bit of strategy play and just try to keep the fenders on it and straight.
Well, you're doing good so far. You had a close call there for a minute, lost several positions, but immediately, half a lap later, you were already starting to make your way forward. It was a pretty impressive save coming out of 3 and start to charge back right away.
Yeah, if you can hang on to that momentum, it means everything on this track. So I guess we're all going to go take tires.
All right, man. Good luck, buddy. I'll let you talk to your crew chief.
10-4, man.
All right, Gerald Poole hitting pit road as well. Now, we did hear Matt Stewart say 30 laps on a tank of fuel. So, from here, they only need to stop one more time. That is why we see everybody on pit road. Brian Mansfield, heavy damage to that car. He will have to use his fast repair. DJ Kenner had a little bit of damage, but all of it on the back bumper, as was William Mann Jr. had a bit of damage as well. His was to the front. We'll see. It looks like he is going to get fully repaired as well. Guys are sending it tonight. They know they want to get up there, get that win, and get that button box. Oh, Patty, it was our pleasure. It is all on Gerald Poole. His brilliant idea to put this together, and awesome job by everybody involved. It's nice to have the charity behind it as well. All right, they are sorting out as everybody comes off pit road. Did Leto go to pit road? Leto did not go to pit road. I think he's staying out to get a wave around here, get himself back on the lead lap, back in position to get the win here tonight. Getting a little bit of word now that things might get a little bit exciting if those two drivers, Brian Mansfield and Kevin Bruner, get connected again. There might be a little bit of excitement. I'm getting the impression Brian Mansfield not real happy with Bruner right now after that incident in turn 1. So. Mansfield, I imagine, will be calmed down by the time they get back together, but you never know. But William Mann back there as well, one of the fastest guys on the track so far tonight. Look for him to come forward again. Brian Burkhart currently in 8th place. He was up in the front early on in the race. He started in 4th, had an issue, and drifted all the way back to about 12th. Had managed to work his way back forward. He's lost a little bit of ground on pit stops, but expect to see the speed that car has come forward until I just realized he's driving a Ford. So he'll have speed for about 5 laps, and then it's probably going to blow up. Because it's a Ford. I got Ford jokes. Kevin Martin saying language warning for Brian Mansfield in the pits. So things getting a little bit heated on track tonight. All right, Matt Stewart, Michael Whiting have the front row. DJ Kenner, Kevin Bruner on the second row. Gerald Thanos Poole, Bradley Berry on the third row. Brian Burkhart, Brandon Mclaughlin on the fourth row. Jim Johnson, Michael Grainels on the fifth row, then William Mann Jr., Brian Mansfield, Daniel Miller, Jeremy Leto rounding out the field. Leto back on the lead lap, so all 14 cars on the lead lap. Leto out there on the oldest tires, though. Pace car is in, green flag back in the air, and they are down and away. Matt Stewart gets a great jump on the restart. He's got to try and beat Michael Whiting. You see it, there it is. There is the front straight spread. They're 3 wide. Oh, we've got a wreck back behind. Caution. Looks like Mansfield, Grainolds, several cars involved. Caution back out. see if we can see what happened here. Rewind just a bit and see if we can see where this started. Looks like with the looks like Michael Reynolds came down just as the 88 came back up the track, and they met in the middle on that one. Let's see if we can take another look at it. There you see it. Michael Reynolds in the 80. Oh, Brian Mansfield gets caught in the middle of that. Tried to drive through it. Almost had it. Brian Mansfield back on pit road. Rough night for a car that was a top 5 car easily here tonight. And had been marching forward. Definitely had some late run speed and all sorts of problems happening. Meanwhile, a lot of cars back on pit road. Brian Mansfield on pit road. Michael Reynolds on pit road. Jeremy Leto on pit road. Brandon Mclaughlin there in the 88. Expect to see him come to pit road. He took some damage as well. William Mann Jr. looks like he might have caught a little bit on the front end. Let's see if we can take a look. Yeah, he did catch a little bit of that on the nose. Jim Johnson, little bit of damage to the front as well. Brian Burkhart, everybody else manages to make it through clearly. Bradley Berry, Gerald Poole, both on pit road. They're going to get 4 fresh tires and top off on fuel here. So half the field coming to pit road, the other half staying out. Let's see if we can get a quick word with the driver of the 44. Michael Whiting, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug, I do.
Hey, man. Matt Stewart said you were his toughest competition tonight. You were a machine here.
I don't know if I'm a machine here. But I got him thinking, so that's good, I guess.
Definitely you got him thinking, and you definitely fasted. You seem to really come on late in the run.
Yeah, I'm just trying to save my stuff in a lot of these runs. I didn't have a lot of practice here. It's been a while, so learning a little bit more lap by lap, and we'll just see how it all plays out.
All right, man. Well, good luck. I hear there's a bit of arguing on pit road right now and some unhappy drivers. Good luck with that if you get stuck around any of them.
Yeah, we're going to try to stay up front.
All right, man. Good luck, buddy.
All right, thanks, Doug.
Kevin Martin in the chat cheering on the entire Outlaw crew that is on track. Chris Watson cheering on William Mann Jr. William Mann definitely has the fan club tonight. He could probably use that little bit of extra help here tonight. He went to pit road. He had to use his fast repair earlier. Only one fast repair for the night, but it looks like he's got that car pretty well back in shape. Let's check out Brandon Mclaughlin. He's still got damage on the back, but the front end looks okay. Jim Johnson, I believe, is okay. He is in good shape. Daniel Miller hitting pit road. Gerald Poole in good shape. Bradley Berry has managed to keep that car clean as they line up. And I think some of these guys that just hit pit road, as they start to stack up for the restart, some guys topping off on fuel, maybe getting a fresh set of right side tires. They know they'll have to make one more pit stop, but the strategy, any fuel strategy, has been thrown out the window now. It just comes down to a question of if it stays green, balancing the tires, making the tires last as long as possible, and then whoever goes first, that'll probably start a chain reaction of everybody hitting pit road. All right, they are stacking up as they come through turn 2. 11 cars on the lead lap. Graynolds, Leto, and Mansfield all one or more laps down at the moment. And a few angry drivers out on the track right now. So the guys out front probably fairly safe, but Michael Whiting, Matt Stewart really worried about each other. But that car right behind him, the 32 of DJ, the Iceman Kenner, he might be one to worry about just a little bit here as well. All right, pace car about to duck off. There it goes. Green flag is in the air there, down and away. Who's it going to be leading when they get to turn one is going to be the question. It looks like Michael Whiting's got one heck of a restart here. And starting to fan out just a little bit. The pack is broken into two for the moment. But expect Jim Johnson, who is right there leading that second group of cars, expect him to come forward here in a moment, especially after a couple of laps. Once those tires came in, Jim Johnson was really charging toward the front. He's not going to waste time this time. He's down to the inside of Brendan Mclaughlin. Gerald Poole starting to make his three wide up front. They were briefly three wide. Few guys thinking better of it, backed out just a little bit. Turn three, you can run three wide. You can even run it four wide. Is it advisable? Probably not. Down the front straightaway, they fan out just a little bit. Thanos looking to the inside, can't do anything with it. Here comes William Mann Jr. back on the bottom. Michael Whiting continuing to lead. Matt Stewart in second. Bradley Berry in third. DJ Kenner slipping back to fourth. Brian Burkhart back in the mix in fifth. After the early incident, he is working his way back towards the front, right on DJ's bumper, down to the inside, going into three. He's not wasting any time. Another one making a move on the inside. William Mann Jr. Burkhart Jr. both on the bottom, trying to make something happen early in the run here. Halfway this time. Off into turn one, and the 97 is getting by Matt Stewart. Matt Stewart losing a lot of momentum. DJ Kenner right to the back bumper. Turn one, very tricky to get the angle right. Looks like Matt Stewart might have got the angle just a hair off that time. Apparently DJ Kenner, quick update, has another nickname now. Sneaky Snake. DJ Kenner is the Outlaw Truck Champion this season, and with this high downforce package, these cars drive a lot like those trucks do. And you see DJ making the move back to the inside of Burkhart. And Gerald Poole starting to make his way forward. Huge shout out to Gerald Poole for coming up with the idea for this three-race event and for everything that comes with it. Oh my goodness. Kevin Bruner and William Mann Jr. almost getting together there. William Mann Jr. starting to make his way forward again. Now he's going to look to the outside of Bruner coming out of turn two. Can't do anything with him yet. Meanwhile, Bradley Berry has gotten by and taken the lead. Bradley Berry continuing to lead. Matt Stewart right on the back bumper. Michael Whiting still there in striking distance. DJ Kenner also right there within striking distance. Then this group back behind him with Brian Burkhart leading him around and Gerald Thanos Poole right there with him. William Mann Jr. now looking to the inside on Kevin Bruner again. And can't get enough of a run. Drops back into the draft looking for the perfect time to get around. Meanwhile, Daniel Miller has pulled back up to this group. Jim Johnson still there with him. I have a feeling Matt Stewart said he was going to do a little fuel strategy, a little tire strategy. He's just going to make that car last as long as possible. And he might be one of the latest ones to pit on their final stop. He might be the latest and have the freshest tires at the end of the race. Time will tell, but Matt Stewart did say he was watching fuel strategy very, very carefully here. Michael Whiting and DJ Kenner both drift up the track in one. Back behind them, Burkhart and Poole side by side off of turn one. And Burkhart just can't get clear. Gerald Poole will have that preferred inside line down into two. Burkhart clears him barely, gets down a little bit. Back behind, a three-car battle as William Mann Jr. in 9th, Jim Johnson 10th. Daniel Miller currently running in 8th. 8th, 9th, and 10th. They keep swapping positions every single lap. Matt Stewart back to the lead now. These guys are changing positions up at the front almost every corner at this point. And that has allowed Michael Whiting and DJ Kenner to stay right there within reach of them. Brian Burkhart also able to stay within reach, and he's got Bruner and Poole with him. Daniel Miller starting to close in on that group as well. Daniel Miller, another one of those cars that on that first long green flag run really came in late in the run, started picking up positions. Side by side for the lead, Matt Stewart on the outside, Bradley Berry on the inside. Across the line, it is Matt Stewart at the line, but it is so close. And who's it going to be once they come out of turn one? Meanwhile, DJ Kenner back behind is loving watching this. It's giving him a chance to close the gap. Matt slots back in second, but for how long? They keep swapping that top position. They need to stay single file for a bit here. DJ Kenner now within 0.4 of a second, just over 0.4 of a second. And Michael Whiting right there with him. Gerald Poole now up into 5th place. He gets past Brian Burkhart. That's another two cars that have just been trading spots every other lap. Kevin Bruner now back in 7th. Jim Johnson 8th still, but now we've got Jim Johnson in 8th. 9th is Daniel Miller. 10th is William Mann Jr. And these three are another group that just can't make up their mind how they're going to run. Bradley Berry off into turn one. It's 3 wide briefly behind him. Gerald Poole wisely backing out of it. They get single file again for the moment. DJ Kenner in 3rd, Michael Whiting in 4th, Gerald Poole now in 5th. All over the back bumper of Michael Whiting. Brian Burkhart still in contention here, as well as Kevin Bruner. Jim Johnson has lost a little bit of ground to this group. He is now 1.5 seconds back from Bruner. But Daniel Miller, we mentioned it a few moments ago, best on the long run, is starting to come on strong, as is William Mann Jr. Now that they have spaced out just a little bit, we'll start to see who is really fast. And the 97 gets into turn one too hot. Matt Stewart down to the bottom. They swap position again. Matt Stewart back to the lead. I have not seen many NASCAR races in the real world with this many position changes up front at Pocono. Oh! The 97 bounces off the wall in turn 2. No caution. He clears the track. No caution. Let's see what happened. I'm betting he just got loose off of turn 2. Pushing that car to its limit. No, he got tight. He pushed right up into the outside wall, smacks the inside wall. He'll have to use, he's kept that car so clean and been so fast tonight. He'll now have to go to pit road, get some repairs, and hope for one more caution to give him an opportunity to get back up here and battle. Matt Stewart, though, definitely benefiting from that, as now DJ Kenner 0.7 of a second behind. And good afternoon to you, Stryker. How you doing, buddy? Matt Stewart currently in the lead. DJ Kenner in second. Michael Whiting in third. Gerald Poole in fourth and closing on him. Gerald Poole definitely saved tires early in this run. Him and Burkhart both have been nose to tail. And now Poole starting to turn up the pace. Michael Whiting in third. Now Gerald Poole within draft range of him as they go off into turn 1. Matt Stewart out front. Half a second lead right now over DJ. DJ and Michael Whiting staying nose to tail. Burkhart looking to the inside for fourth. He's going to get it going into turn 2. It looks like Kevin Bruner just sitting back there watching. Off into turn number 2. Burkhart does reassume the position. Here comes Bruner with a head of steam. Almost gets in the back of Gerald Poole. Meanwhile, out front, Matt Stewart all alone now. Starting to extend that lead just a little bit now. 0.6 of a second over second place DJ Kenner. Matt Stewart continues to lead. But Michael Whiting and DJ Kenner now starting to battle for second. Matt Stewart is going to absolutely love seeing this in his mirror. Michael Whiting trying to pull up and get some side draft. Not enough yet. Maybe he gets even with him into turn number 2. Matt Stewart continues to open up a lead now, 1.6 seconds. Michael Whiting clears DJ in second, and now the battle for third is really, really on. DJ Kenner has his hands full as Burkhart and Gerald Poole, Kevin Bruner all get to him in the last few laps. Michael Whiting losing a little bit of ground as well. Michael Whiting might be in their clutches here in a moment as well. Burkhart clears Kenner for second, or for third, excuse me. Kind of odd to see DJ Kenner fading mid-run. This is where DJ tends to excel on the long runs once that track stays green for a while. 20 laps. Most of these guys have been out there for about 20 laps. The guys, oh, we've got a car. I could not tell who just went flying off the... William Mann making a move for 8th. There was a car that went off turn 3, went sliding in, but I don't know who it was. Almost went to pit road. It was a close one. But meanwhile, up front, Matt Stewart continuing to open up his lead. Michael Whiting in second. Can't do anything with him yet. Burkhart in third has his hands full with DJ Kenner, Gerald Poole, and Kevin Bruner. Then there's a gap back to Jim Johnson in 7th, Daniel Miller in 8th, William Mann Jr. in 9th. Brandon McLaughlin currently running in 10th, Bradley Berry 11th, Brian Mansfield in 12th, and Jeremy Leto in 13th. Matt has a 1.2 second lead, but Brian Mansfield has come to pit road. With 36 laps to go, he cannot go the distance on fuel from here. Not sure if he went in just to top off on fuel, but an odd situation to see Mansfield pitting this soon. Meanwhile, Bruner looking to the inside of Gerald Poole, going for 5th. And let's not forget what this race was all about. This is to raise money for the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease Foundation. You can find the link in the Twitch and the Facebook to donate to their current GoFundMe fundraising drive. DJ Kenner, Brian Burkhart battling for 3rd. DJ Kenner holds him off for a little bit longer, but Burkhart is chomping at the bit, and he was coming on strong on the last long run. Looks like Brian Mansfield may be done. Matt Stewart way out front for the moment. Michael Whiting in 2nd. DJ Kenner in 3rd. Brian Burkhart in 4th. Kevin Bruner is 5th. Gerald Poole 6th. Jim Johnson 7th. Daniel Miller 8th. William Mann in 9th. Brandon McLaughlin in 10th. Bradley Berry 11th. And Jeremy Leto in 12th. Looks like Mansfield and Michael Grainolds are both done. Matt Stewart's lead starting to shrink. You heard him say Michael Whiting was a machine, and Michael Whiting really starting to storm his way forward. He has cut that lead of over 2 seconds in half. It's now down to 1 second. Gerald Poole is the first one to come to pit road. A little bit early. Not sure if he can go the distance from here, but he is on pit road for possibly his last stop. Michael Whiting continuing to run down Matt Stewart. DJ Kenner now looking back to the inside. He's got the run on Brian Burkhart's got the run on DJ Kenner off into turn 3. Clears him easily there, but will DJ Kenner come back on the high side? And Kevin Bruner right there's got a head of steam as well. Brandon McLaughlin just had an off track. Brandon coming out of turn 2. Same thing we saw out of Bradley Berry earlier. Just gets a push through turn 2, and you gotta give him credit for holding that. Hits the outside wall, manages to come through the grass, lost some speed, but man, what a great save by Brandon McLaughlin. Matt Stewart still in the lead, but that lead is shrinking quickly. Bradley Berry now on pit road. Most of these drivers thinking they can make it from here now and getting that final pit stop in. Starting to see others come in as Brian Burkhart's in, Jim Johnson is in, William Mann Jr. is in. Now the leaders cannot wait long before they come to pit road. How long do Matt Stewart and Michael Whiting stay out? Michael Whiting obviously has been saving tires like crazy. And they come to pit road. The leaders are on pit road. Kevin Bruner in third stays out. DJ Kenner in fourth comes in. Daniel Miller staying out. The lead goes to Kevin Bruner now. He takes the lead and he will still have to stop here in a lap or two, but trying to stretch the fuel mileage as far as he can. Daniel Miller currently running in second. Brandon Mclaughlin in third. Matt Stewart, Michael Whiting, DJ Kenner now all rolling up off of pit road. There's Matt Stewart. You see the bumps down on that inside line as Burkhart comes around. The only cars that have not been to pit road for their final stop now: Kevin Bruner, Daniel Miller, and Brandon Mclaughlin. Daniel stopped on lap 47. Brandon stopped on lap 26. Kevin Bruner stopped on lap 42. Looks like Leto has not been to pit road either. He stopped on lap 46. Brandon Mclaughlin now comes to pit road. So now it's down to Kevin Bruner and Daniel Miller. Kevin Bruner currently has a 9.2 second lead over second place Daniel Miller. And Gerald Poole, once it cycles through, might just be taking the lead here. He stopped 3 laps before everybody else. He was out there on fresher tires earlier on and made up a lot of ground here. But he has Matt Stewart just over 1 second behind him. Will those 3 laps on tires make a difference? Kevin Bruner still not coming to pit road. Daniel Miller does come to pit road this time. So that leaves Kevin Bruner, the only car to not have pitted yet. As soon as Bruner pits, Gerald Thanos-Poole will take the lead, but he has Matt Stewart breathing down his neck just 1 second back. The lap car of Jeremy Leto there on the bottom. Kevin Bruner still out on track, and now he can extend his... He can still go another 2 or 3 laps based on the fuel mileage we're seeing. He might be able to go a little bit further. Gerald Poole, meanwhile, waiting for Bruner to go to pit road so he can take the lead, but his back bumper is full of Matt Stewart, and now Brian Burkhart up there, as this is the race, possibly the race for the win right here between Poole, Stewart, and Burkhart. Fastest lap last time by, though, checking, it was Michael Whiting, and Michael Whiting actually just turned the fastest lap of the race. Track temperature probably coming down, as here goes Matt Stewart. Looking to the inside of Gerald Poole. He's going to bring Brian Burkhart with him. Kevin Bruner finally gives up the ghost, comes to pit road. He is going to get 4 tires and fuel as the lead pack comes out of turn number 2. Matt Stewart will assume the lead here. Now the question is, how quickly can Kevin Bruner get back up off pit road? If he takes right sides only, he might still be in the battle. Watching his pit time, he is taking 4 tires and fuel. Matt Stewart now to the lead. Burkhart to second. Gerald Poole to third. Michael Whiting into fourth. And Matt Stewart has been the dominant car all night, but now he's got Brian Burkhart right behind him. Brian having issues very early on, all the way to the back of the field, had to recover quite a bit. You see him get a little squirrely there off of turn 2. He is pushing that car for everything it's worth while he's got 4 fresh tires on it. Michael Whiting now looking to the inside of Gerald Poole for third. Off of turn number 3, they still battle side by side. Matt Stewart trying to open up a bit of a lead here. Burkhart currently running in second. Gerald Poole in third. Michael Whiting in fourth. Has not been able to get around Gerald Poole yet. But they are losing ground while they battle side by side. Out of turn number 1. And is Michael Whiting going to be able to carry enough momentum? Not yet. Down the back straightaway side by side. Michael Whiting noses ahead. He clears him right before getting set up to go into turn number 2. And looks like Michael Whiting has smacked the wall just a little bit. He had a little bit of right rear damage on that car. Meanwhile, while these guys were battling, Matt Stewart has opened his lead to half a second over Brian Burkhart. Brian Burkhart still right there with him. But Michael Whiting is the car to watch. He has been the best on the long run. As Matt Stewart said, he is a machine here tonight. DJ Kenner back in 5th. Jim Johnson in 6th. William Mann Jr. 7th. Daniel Miller currently running in 8th. Brandon McLaughlin 9th. Kevin Bruner in 10th after taking the latest pit stop. Will that late pit stop come into play? He's currently 44 seconds behind the leaders, but he's actually gaining quite quickly on them. But with 25 laps to go, he'd have to gain 2 seconds a lap roughly. Bradley Berry currently running in 11th. A bit of a heartbreak. He was running in 2nd when he bounced off of the turn 2 wall. Went down to the infield, hit the infield wall, managed to save that car, but put him out of contention. Brandon McLaughlin, another one that bounced off the turn 2 wall, drove it through the grass full throttle and got it back on track and managed to save that car. Matt Stewart still out front, has opened his lead to 0.6 of a second over Brian Burkhart. Michael Whiting in 3rd. Based on their lap times last time, Matt Stewart was the fastest last time by. But as the laps wind on, Michael Whiting's speed comes up as everybody else's comes down. You heard him say he was saving tires. Michael Whiting still trying to run him down, now 2.5 seconds behind Matt Stewart. Burkhart still within reach, half of a second. Gerald Poole back in 4th, almost 5 seconds behind the leader. DJ Kenner in 5th, 7.5 seconds back. Jim Johnson currently running in 6th. He is 8.3 seconds back. William Mann Jr. currently running in 7th, 12 seconds back. Daniel Miller in 8th, 31 seconds back. Brandon McLaughlin in 9th. Kevin Bruner in 10th. Bruner 43.5 seconds back. He has been steadily gaining, but I think he's gained 5 seconds. Well, he might have enough speed, at least while those tires are fresh, to pick up some more time. The question is, can he gain another 43 seconds in the next 22 laps? Burkhart currently running in second, right back to the back bumper of Matt Stewart. And as the laps wind down, the tires wind down, these guys may only get one shot at that final pass. Burkhart might only get one attempt. If Burkhart gets by, Matt Stewart may only get one more attempt to get back to the lead as they continue to run. William Mann Jr., another one, had a great run early. Started in 9th place and worked his way up to second. Got caught in 2 separate incidents, now back in 7th. Daniel Miller has had an up and down night. He's been up battling in the top 5. He has been as far back as 12th. He is just trying to fight his way back towards the front. Brandon McLaughlin, we talked about it a moment ago, driving through the grass out of turn number 2 after bouncing off the wall. You see him giving the wall just a little bit more room now. And Bruner continuing to run him down, but he has not gained any time on the last 2 laps. Burkhart gets by Stewart for the lead. And now 20 laps to go. Let us know who your pick is, who you think is going to win this. It looks like if it stays green, it's going to come down to a Burkhart versus Stewart battle here. Meanwhile, back here in 4th, the battle has really tightened up as this group had spread out a ton. But DJ Kenner and Jim Johnson have caught back up to Gerald Poole. Now DJ looking to the inside. Jim Johnson staying right back there, currently running in 6th. DJ in 4th, Gerald in 5th, Jim in 6th. Further back behind them, William Mann Jr. trying to close back up on this group, get any positions late in this race he can. Meanwhile, up front, Brian Burkhart staying just ahead of Matt Stewart right now. And Burkhart probably has his hands full right now with Matt Stewart right in the back, right on his back bumper. But Michael Whiting has started to close the gap. It was almost 3 seconds just a few laps ago. Now he is gaining on them. Last time by, he was 0.2 of a second faster than both of the leaders. And there you see the lap times between There we go. The lap times between Matt Stewart and Michael Whiting. Michael Whiting consistently gaining on the leaders. Gained another 1/10 of a second that time by. 17 laps to go, and Michael Whiting has right at 2 seconds to the lead cars. Matt Stewart staying in Burkhart's tire tracks. Meanwhile, DJ Kenner has managed to pull away from Gerald Poole. Jim Johnson has gotten by him as well for 5th. Gerald Poole now back to 6th. William Mann in 7th, starting to gain ground on this group. Brian Burkhart, Matt Stewart still staying nose to tail. Michael Whiting continues to close that gap. Now about 1.9 seconds. Once Michael Whiting gets within range of Matt Stewart, he'll get some help from the draft and pull right up and carry a lot of momentum. If he times his getting to the back bumper just right, he might be able to get past both of them in a single shot. And Matt Stewart has started getting right on the back bumper of Brian Burkhart. They have got to be trying to work together to keep Michael Whiting behind him, but I don't think it is working. Down the front straightaway, they were literally nose to tail. Stewart's front bumper touching Brian Burkhart's back bumper. Possibly a little bump drafting going on down the front straightaway. Anything to get away from Michael Whiting, but Michael Whiting is still coming. Gap now from Michael Whiting to Matt Stewart, 1.3 seconds. And closing. DJ Kenner, Jim Johnson, 4th and 5th place. Currently William Mann getting by Gerald Poole, moving up to 6th, 4.2 seconds back from Jim Johnson. He's another car that started coming on strong later in the run. Brian Burkhart actually starting to open up a little bit of a gap on Matt Stewart. Just 0.3 of a second, not much, but a little bit. First time we've seen anybody put a gap on Matt Stewart here tonight. Burkhart now has a little bit more of a lead at the line, 0.6 of a second. Matt Stewart, meanwhile, still losing ground to Michael Whiting. Michael Whiting now 1.2 seconds back. 13 laps to go, and it looks like the cooperation between Burkhart and Stewart has come to an end as Burkhart trying to run away here. William Mann, Gerald Poole, 6th and 7th place, have Gerald Poole really starting to fade here. Kevin Bruner is on pit road. No, he did not. Looked like he might have had an issue. Let's see what happened. Bruner pushing hard off turn 3, gets the outside wall. Looks like the car in front of him gets loose as well. They both do. No caution. Everybody keeps going the right way, but a bit of a heartbreak. That was Daniel Miller that spun out of turn 3 as well. Brandon Mclaughlin managed to recover his car more quickly, now up to 9th. Daniel Miller back to 10th, and Bradley Berry currently in 11th after being one of the top cars all night. Brian Burkhart getting past. Is this the pass for the win? Using the lap car, Jeremy Leto, Matt Stewart down to the inside. Burkhart gets the wall. Down into turn 3, Matt Stewart has a bit of a car length, about a half a car length. Now Burkhart back on the outside. And here comes Michael Whiting. While they're side by side, he is gaining on him. And Matt Stewart reclaims the lead with 11 laps to go. Brian Burkhart back to second, and now they both have to worry. Michael Whiting within half a second. And Michael Whiting sends it into turn 1. Last time by, Michael Whiting was substantially faster than both of these cars. Half a second or more faster than Matt Stewart and Brian Burkhart last time by. Now Burkhart looking back to the inside. Off into turn 3, side by side. Michael Whiting is dropping to the bottom. Is he going to be able to get a run on Matt Stewart here? Off of turn number 3, no run out of Michael Whiting yet. He might be waiting for these guys to make a mistake. Matt Stewart now back in second place, right on the back bumper. 10 laps to go. More lap traffic about to come into play. Daniel Miller not far ahead of the leaders, just coming out of turn 1. There they are. 3 different lines through turn 1. Now Michael Whiting looking on the high side as Matt Stewart goes back for the lead. Michael Whiting follows him through, gives him a little bit of a push there. Through turn 2, Matt Stewart looking for the lead, and Michael Whiting. Oh, Burkhart bounces off the wall, gets a little bit of Michael Whiting. Burkhart manages to recover the car. Great save by Brian Burkhart, but he lost all of his momentum. Now it comes down to Matt Stewart and Michael Whiting. As they come out of turn 3, Michael Whiting got part of that. We'll try and get a look at the right side of his car, see if he has any damage. Looks like minimal damage on the right side of Michael Whiting's car. Heartbreak for Brian Burkhart, who had been moving back towards the front the entire race. Lap car dropping to the bottom. Daniel Miller staying out of the leader's way. 9 laps to go. Matt Stewart has opened up 0.8 of a second lead over Michael Whiting. Now Michael Whiting closing that gap way up through turn 3. Down the front straightaway they go again. Michael Whiting still within range to get a little draft help from Matt Stewart. Not getting a lot though. Brian Burkhart now 5 seconds back. Jim Johnson back in 4th. DJ Kenner now in 5th. William Mann Jr. has managed to work his way back to 6th. Gerald Poole in 7th. Kevin Bruner is 8th. Brandon Mclaughlin 9th. And Daniel Miller in 10th. The battle is on for the win here tonight. Matt Stewart cannot open up a gap on Michael Whiting. He's trying everything right now. 7 laps to go. Michael Whiting staying right with him. Jeremy Leno has gone to pit road and is back out on track. Meanwhile, Matt Stewart just continues to lead and hold Michael Whiting off. But for how long can he do it? They're coming down to get 6 laps to go. Michael Whiting keeps looking to the inside at turn 3. This may come down to a last lap move and who can come off turn 3 faster. Matt Stewart has a personal connection to Huntington's disease. This would mean a ton for him to win here tonight. Brian Burkhart now has drifted way back after that incident, bouncing off the wall out of turn number 2. He's currently running in third, but here come DJ Kenner and Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson about to look for third on Burkhart. Now Matt Stewart and Michael Whiting nose to tail. Michael Whiting sends it to the inside into turn 3. Side by side through turn 3. Who's it going to be down the front straightaway? It's going to be a drag race. Does Michael Whiting pull up and get the side draft on him? No, he can't. Matt Stewart able to carry more momentum off that high side. 5 laps to go. Michael Whiting still sending it in every single lap. They're coming up to lap Bradley Berry now. Bradley back in 11th. Matt Stewart using the lap car of Bradley Berry. Get a little bit of draft. Any help he can get. Michael Whiting looking to the bottom in turn 3 again. Bradley Berry staying up on the high side. Matt Stewart's going to clear him. Michael Whiting clears the lap car as well. 4 laps to go for Matt Stewart. That time by, Matt Stewart opened up almost a half a second lead over Michael Whiting. Jim Johnson now in third. DJ Kenner in fourth. They are still 6 seconds back. Will not be a factor unless there is a mistake. Matt Stewart now half of a second lead. Just over half a second lead for Matt Stewart as he gets 3 to go. He'll have more lap traffic to deal with ahead. Brandon Mclaughlin just ahead of the leaders. Matt Stewart extends his lead to 0.6 of a second. Coming out of turn number 3, and Michael Whiting looks to the inside again. These two race together all the time. You know, they know each other's tricks. They're trying anything they can to get around. 2 laps to go for Matt Stewart. Michael Whiting's going to have to do something. Dive into turn 3 harder. He's going to have to find something. Otherwise, Matt Stewart will continue to open up the lead. Every time they come off of turn 3, Matt Stewart pulls away just a little bit. There is a possibility for a green-white checkered. However, once Matt Stewart takes the white flag, there will be no green-white checkered. Whatever happens, happens, and they will go to the finish. Out of turn number 2, Matt Stewart's going to have the draft off of Brandon Mclaughlin. A little bit of help on the straightaway. Through turn 3, Michael Whiting sends it in again, but can't get anything. White flag in the air for Matt Stewart. Using the lap car of Brandon Mclaughlin to get down the front straightaway. Back behind, DJ Kenner battling Jim Johnson for third. Gets by him on the front straightaway. Will Jim make a move into turn number 1? No move there. Matt Stewart continues the lead, gets by Brandon Mclaughlin. Michael Whiting right there to the back bumper. They both clear the lap car through turn 2 one last time. No mistakes by either driver. Perfect line out of turn number 2. Matt Stewart, one more turn to go. Out of turn 3, Michael Whiting sent it hard into 3 that time. Couldn't do anything with him. It's going to be Matt Stewart at the line. Matt Stewart winning the inaugural race of the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease Foundation charity event here tonight. He wins a button box from Crazy Vet Fam, and I am sure he is happy right now. Let's go have a word with him. Hey, Matt, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Doug.
Hey, man, congratulations. What a hard-fought battle. What a great win.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I told you I like this place. That last run was tiring. I felt like we were running on rims. I thought Mike was going to get me, but held them off.
With about 3 to go, he dove in and got even with you all the way through turn 3. After you got off of turn 3, you just started pulling away from him again.
Yeah, that's what he gets for being clean. He could have taken me out, but he didn't. But that was kind of my strategy. The straightaways are so long here that, back up the corner entry and get the nice run on the straightaway.
Well, you definitely pulled it off. I know this one is especially important to you personally, so congratulations. On top of that, hey, you've got a button box from Crazy Vet Fam coming as well.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for putting this on. Thanks to Gerald. It was a lot of fun. We'll do it again.
Yep, we will hopefully see you again next week, buddy.
You got it.
All right. Matt Stewart winning. Let's see if we can get a word with second place, Michael Whiting. Hey, Michael, this is Doug. You got me?
I do, Doug.
Well, Matt just blew his engine celebrating, but that got a little bit close with 3 to go.
Yeah, I suffered some damage there when that tunnel turn incident with the lap car there, so that pretty much ended my chance at the win. But it was good. That was going to be tough regardless.
Well, you still had one heck of a run tonight, man. Congratulations. And it looked like a couple of times you were going to pull this off. You guys, mid-run, just couldn't get away from each other. You kept swapping positions every lap.
Yeah, no, that was fun. It was shaping up to be a heck of a finish, that's for sure. And just, stuff happens.
A little bit of bad luck ended it, but congratulations, man. Heck of a run tonight, buddy.
Thank you very much, Doug.
All right. And I forgot to mention Michael Whiting will have a t-shirt coming as well. So congratulations to him and congratulations to everybody. Oh, I almost forgot. We do have one announcement. There was a prize for the biggest donation leading into tonight. So I have to double check. I meant to write down who it was, but I have a 5-year-old phone. Give me a second here. But yes, there is a button box coming, and I'm going to try and get that driver on the line here. Let's see if I can reach out to him. Hey, Bradley Berry, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man. You had one heck of a race shaping up. Then the incident out of turn 2 kind of ruined the night.
Oh man, you have no idea, dude. I think I found a banana peel somewhere out there. You know, like Mario Kart.
It looks like it, man, but I have to tell you, because you were the top donor tonight, you get a button box.
Sweet.
So I will get with you, shoot me a message, and we'll get together, and I'll get your address and everything. Once Crazy Vet Fam has them all put together, we'll get it shipped out to you, buddy.
Word. Thank you, sir.
All right, man. My pleasure. Congratulations. You still came home with an 11th place, but I know you had a much faster car tonight.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And we do appreciate you hosting and broadcasting.
My pleasure, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And Thanos joined us in the booth, and I have to say, you had the car to beat on the early run, but you did not have the long run tonight.
No, boy, it seemed like when it got dark, when that cloud cover came over, my car just completely, I lost the best part of my tires trying to figure out where to drive.
I have had that happen here no matter what the weather conditions are.
Yeah, I thought I'd take that early pit and maybe make up, a couple seconds a lap on everybody. And yeah, it wasn't too long. I mean, I know when everything cycled around, I was in pretty good shape. But yeah, when it was dark, my car just became a dump truck.
Well, regardless of that, this whole concept, this whole idea, this 3-race deal, all on you, buddy. And I have to tell you, I told you before the race this morning they had raised like $135. As of right now, my phone is a moron. I had it a second. As of right now, it's up to $745 just today for the John Paul Jr. Huntington Disease Foundation.
That is absolutely awesome, and man, I'm just so thankful for everybody that donated. Everybody came out to race, and everybody out there in broadcast land that got a chance to watch us have a little fun at Pocono tonight. I was telling the guys before the race, I had somebody ask why Pocono, and I said, well, John Paul Jr. ran Cup car one time at Pocono, so we're going to do that. Next week we come back and going to have Indy cars at Michigan where he had his first win, and then we'll come back and do some road course racing at Daytona and some sports cars, GT4 cars. So really looking forward to the next couple weeks. It should be a fun time, and if everybody gets a chance, follow the link, go read the story. It's a fascinating story, and I'm hoping actually they're having his life celebration here in the next week or so. So you never know who we might get attention of.
Yep, that would be awesome. Well, man, congratulations. You did a heck of a job tonight, both with fundraising and with the race overall. So I look forward to seeing. I know how you are on those high downforce cars at Michigan, so you'll probably be winning next week.
We'll come out and give it another swing. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for the broadcast, everything you do, and helping with all this. And man, I'm looking forward to next week, and we'll catch you later, buddy.
All right, thanks, man. All right, Gerald Poole, the mastermind behind this, and what an amazing night it has been. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's been a special night for the drivers and hopefully for the charity as well. I know when they wake up in the morning and see how much money's been raised, they're going to be very pleased. So shout out to everybody who donated. We'll keep putting the links and everything on the Facebook page so you can find it there. And we will keep trying to raise more money over the next 3 weeks with our goal of hitting $2,500 was the goal just from these 3 races. I know their foundation's gunning for $50,000. We wanted to help contribute and get about $2,500 of that in there. So let's keep that going forward. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Make sure you tune in every night, except maybe tomorrow night will be a bit rated R. But every other night, we either have in-car streams or broadcasts. Broadcasts will be back Sunday night with the with the BRR Cup Series, followed by the Fast and Fun ARCA Series, and the Outlaws will be again Monday night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Have a great night, everybody.